Well, once again, happy Sunday, everyone. It's time to talk hog recruiting. It was a big weekend as our Otis Kirk joins us. Of course, the focus in Central Arkansas this weekend with the signing of Andrew Chamblee and James Joyner, two guys committed to the Razorbacks. And let's kind of talk about what their additions mean to Sam Pittman in that class.
Well, it means a lot because here's the thing. When you got a kid 6'8", close to 300, it's obvious, the talent there. He's a four-star, ESPN's #1 player in the state with Andrew Chamblee, Alyssa, but it goes beyond that. I mean, this is a kid that's a very good basketball player. He's got great footwork, just a great attitude, comes from a great home. Both these kids do. But Andrew is so dominant. And I mean, in the amazing part for Arkansas is I don't think he's even close to reached his potential yet. I mean, he's still growing into, but for his size, a lot of kids his age would be pretty awkward, and he's not. You can watch him on the basketball court, on the football field. I saw him play against Bologna this year, and I saw him at the Monster Camp last summer, and he's just got great footwork. I love the kid. God gave him the size. I mean, Sam Pittman and Brad Davis can work miracles with offensive line, but they can't make them the size Andrew Chamblee is. And so he was blessed in that sense. And then Joyner, and when I made a comment last week that they were going to be programmed, let me tell you why I'm talking about James Joyner. Andrew's a quiet kid. J.J. Hollingsworth, fairly quiet kid. James Joyner has the same personality that Dax Courtney does. They've never met a stranger, and they're going to recruit their rears off. And the average person may not realize the difference. It's one thing for coaches to be contacting these kids, and it's good, and fans and this and that. But when current commitments do, and I'm telling you, Joyner, we asked him yesterday on a scale of 0 to Dax, where are you at right now? He said maybe a 3 or 4, but he said after tonight when this sits in, Dax may be looking up to me. I'm telling you, people don't realize the difference. Is Dax Courtney, James Joyner. Look, Connor Nolan did it in the past. Lucas Coley's done that. Ty Story did that. I mean, there's been so many recruits have done that, and Bumper Pool did it. It carries so much weight, Alyssa, and that's where I'm coming from. And look, Coach Boulding told me that he thinks James Joyner's an elite running back, and I agree with him. I mean, I saw him play one game this year. The kid won the game for him with a late run against Van Buren, and when you look at Joyner, you're looking at a kid about 6 foot, 6.5 and about 210, 212 pounds. And you put him with Rashad Duvenon, and then you put him with A.J. Green and the hot kid from last year. You've got four running backs in 2 classes that Jimmy Smith has signed. And these kids love Jimmy Smith. Yeah. But I'm telling you, he's going to be great on the field, Joyner is. But what he's going to do off the field and recruiting from now till signing day, people don't realize what an impact that's going to make. I mean, Dax Courtney's on there. Hey, Lucas, those kids respect those other kids. And Joyner carries that kind of swag. And, and so that was a huge commitment. And then, those 2 kids bring them to 6 for the number of commitments, 4 in-state 4 in-state players, 2 out-of-states. I've talked about J.J. Hollingsworth and Dax Courtney. And by the way, to show you the attitude in this class that Sam Pittman's put together, J.J. Hollingsworth and Dax Courtney were there yesterday to watch that, I mean, Greenland and DeWitt are not close to Little Rock, I mean, I drove from Fayetteville, so it's not close. And so, I mean, it was amazing that but that's just the type kid JJ, Dax are. And I'm telling you, James Joyner, if Nico or Marion, if they commit to Arkansas or whenever, I bet you Chamblee, Joyner, Dax, and JJ are there for them. That's just what they're building in this class. It's amazing. And great job.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that. Really cool. Also saw Jimmy Smith's tweet that he put out, video tweet that he put out. I thought that was pretty great. Also,
I got home last night, I saw that Jimmy had it, and they were walking on cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I imagine he probably could walk on water last night.
Yeah.
And by the way, I will say that James Joyner, I asked him about Jimmy Smith. He loves Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely loves the guy. And that's the same thing Dubonnet told me. I mean, Rashad told me this exact same thing, Alyssa. So, I mean, that's just, that's when a good recruiter or great recruiter, when the kids love you, I mean, they're not just coming here because it's Arkansas. They are, but they're also coming because of Jimmy Smith, and they're coming because of Sam Pittman and Brad Davis and all the other coaches out there. So,
Well, you mentioned our next two guys already, but we can continue to talk about them. Marion Harris is a guy Arkansas's targeting as well out of Central Arkansas.
Well, all you need to know about him is Nick Saban offered him in the 9th grade. So that's probably all you need to know.
It.
I mean, Arkansas offered him soon after that, but Marion, his dad was Elliot Harris that played here. Elliot was from Mariana. And Marion plays at Joe T. Robinson, another very good program right there in Little Rock. And it's so good to have Little Rock turning out, Pulaski County turning out these kind of prospects. But Marion's a big kid, about 6'6", I'm going to guess 310. And for someone that's seen him play, I've had people say, well, maybe he doesn't seem that aggressive. Here's the deal. Marion plays offense. He plays defense. His size, 300 plus pounds, do you want to go out there and do that in September? Which is, probably 100 degrees with all that equipment on and stuff, and on the turf. I mean, he's kind of like J.J. Hollingsworth in the sense that J.J. has to play both ways at Greenland. And they struggle in the heat. I mean, it's just normal. Anybody that side. You put a Marion on one side of the ball and let him line up, you'll see why schools like Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma, the whole top 25 is after him. And that's the reason, because he can dominate. He's a great football player. I mean, Marion, and he's from a good family. He's a good kid. And, he won a state championship as a sophomore season, I guess. He was state champions over at Joe T as sophomore. I just like the way he plays. And I think Arkansas, just guessing, Arkansas, I think, is in really good shape with Marion. I think that's where he'll go. His dad played here. I think he'll go to Arkansas, but you never know. I mean, that's why you recruit them. But I think getting James Joyner, Chamblee, and those kids in the class will help with him. And, so it'll be interesting to see this. But I feel pretty good about him coming to Arkansas.
All right, last guy is Nico De Ville, and he's another, again, Central Arkansas kid that it seems like Sam Pittman and this staff are really focusing on the in-state talent, and you love to see it.
Yeah, Nico was there yesterday, and they finally got him up there when they were calling the Hogs. He was reluctant, and I don't think he ever called him, but he was up there. But no, Nico is 6'5", about 275 pounds. First time I saw him was at the Monster Camp last summer at Maumelle High School. And man, I went out there and I talked to him on the way in. I took his picture and got his phone number and stuff on the way in after he registered. And I looked at him and I go out there and I watch him run. And I'm on the phone to a friend of mine and after seeing him for about 5 minutes on the field, I said, this kid's getting ready to blow up. And sure enough, the next week, Arkansas, Georgia, and I want to say Tennessee, I believe three or four SEC schools offered him the very next week, early in the week. It's just a no-brainer. Now, here's the deal with Nico. He's not originally from Arkansas. And so all the kids have told me it's going to be a fight to get him to come to Arkansas. I mean, that's the one they're worried about. And it's going to take some work by, the Arkansas coaching staff, Joyner, Chamblee, Dax, and JJ and stuff. But they think it's possible that they can get him. So it's going to be important that they do, because kids like that, 6'5", 275, plays basketball, just like Chamblee, outstanding on the basketball court. They don't grow on trees, Alyssa. And that's why I think it's important that Arkansas can get him. And it's going to be a battle, but that's what recruiting is a battle, But the fact that his teammate, Andrew Chamblee, committed, the fact that James Joyner, who's friends, like I said, with everybody in Little Rock. I mean, that kid could run for mayor of Little Rock and probably win it. That has to help Arkansas. It's not going to hurt. And if Marion Harris jumps on board, that's going to help too with Nico. It just has to, because you've got all these others, all your friends and all your, guys you play against and you respect, they're coming to Arkansas. So it makes you take a long look. So I think it's important that they get a Marion on board and then really all of them start working on Nico. And if they do that, I think the odds go up if they can get him. But those are all good players. Every one of these in-state kids that I've talked about, and that's not even counting about like the kids at Spable. And I love Caden Henley at Shiloh Christian, the linebacker. I think he, and then James Joyner talked about Jaylen White, a safety at Parkview in the 2022 class, a big kid that Ole Miss and other schools have offered recently. He thinks Arkansas might recruit him. So, I mean, there's some good talent in the state. That 2022 class is really loaded, and Arkansas is doing a good job evaluating and getting their, figuring out what they need, who they need, and where they at. They've got 6 commitments right now, so they're sitting pretty good for this time of year. And, if this thing opens up in the summer where kids can come to camp and stuff, that'll help some of these kids that need to come to camp for them to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Otis Kirk, thanks so much for all the information. Of course, it's a big week for football as we get ready for spring ball too. So the very first spring football practices for Sam Pittman. I know that he's excited to be working with all those guys. And of course, this new class of 2021 kids who early enrolled. So we'll talk about that coming up next week. But as always, Otis, great to see you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch up next week.
Thanks for having me on here. Appreciate you.